Over the years, I've romanticized this particular Leica camera. Despite its limitations, I always praised the user experience. I considered buying one for myself, and I had an overall positive outlook. It wasn't until this year, when I tried this camera again, that I had a change of heart. This is the Leica M, and I can no longer recommend this camera the way that I used to. So today, I want to share what changed and why I was wrong about the Leica M system. So this camera right here is the Leica M10, and this is where our story begins. Now, I want to make something clear. This video is not about the M10 specifically, it's about the entire Leica M lineup. But it starts with the M10 because this is the camera that I used in 2020 and absolutely loved. I loved the analog style of Leica M cameras, and it's something that I praised and recommended on this channel on multiple occasions, and I also mentioned how I was considering buying a Leica M multiple times. Up until this year, when I used this M10 again and observed a lot of the changes happening to the Leica M lineup, and sort of had a big change of heart. Like, I no longer would recommend this camera to myself or to you. And here's why. The first reason has to do with pricing. It's just cut and dry, simple, I'll keep it short. But back when the M10 was the main Leica M out, the cost was $6,500. Now the Leica M11 costs nearly $10,000 at retail. With this jump in price, I personally feel like we've hit a tipping point on what you're actually getting. At $6,500, I can understand photographers saving money from photo shoots, slowly building up the capital to invest in this, and finding ways to use it in whatever they're doing. $6,500 being an extreme price tag somehow feels reasonable now compared to $10,000. With $10,000, you can start the beginning of a production company. You can get an FX3 camera by Sony, you can get multiple different lenses, you can get lighting, you can get so much for that $10,000, and I just can't justify that price tag anymore. I might be able to justify it in the future if wages for photographers increase at a relatively fast pace, but back in 2020, when $6,500 got you a Leica M, the prices you were charging as a photographer are very similar to what you're charging today, if not more than what you can charge today with the incorporation of AI and all the changes that have happened to the photo industry. So at $10,000, it's just not a price tag that I want to pay or feel comfortable speaking positively about for anyone out there. It's just too much money. Now, the second reason why I can't recommend the Leica M anymore has to do with what you're giving up in exchange for what you're actually getting. The risk is not worth the reward in most situations. Now, back when I spoke so highly of the Leica M, I think I had a little bit of a blinder on because it was during the pandemic and I was getting out and doing photography that was very low stakes. But when I borrowed the Leica M10 again at the beginning of this year, I had the opportunity to bring this with me to New York twice. I had the opportunity to bring it to South Carolina with me and the opportunity to bring it to San Francisco. And with each one of those trips, I ended up picking a different camera. And the reason why was because I knew I needed to make the most out of those occasions, and with the M10 being an analog system, I just couldn't justify it. I was too worried about missing shots. I was too worried about something going wrong, and I didn't want to have the lack of reliability that you get with a camera like this. It's just not something I find myself wanting to use the same way that I thought I would. And this could be an example of idealizing situations as photographers, thinking, oh, if I have this camera, I'll do X, Y, and Z thing. Realistically, most people are going to find way more benefit from a more reliable modern camera. But the third reason why I'm having a change of heart around the Leica M has to do with the loss of some of the analog spirit that we've seen with previous Leica M's with the introduction of the M11. With the M11, there is a quick release battery, whereas the M10 and all previous digital M cameras have this base plate which emulates film. You got to take the base plate off to get to your memory card and get to your battery, so it's a little bit of a slower process. Now, some of you might think, that's not a big deal. Who cares? But in the past, the reason you would pay the money for a Leica M is because you're paying for this history and this lineage of what a Leica M is. It's similar to buying a Rolex Submariner. You can get a Seiko watch, for example, that's better than a Rolex Submariner at a fraction of the cost, but you don't get all the history of the Rolex Submariner and what it stands for. That same idea applies to Leica M digital cameras. The Leica M digital camera is supposed to be the same experience as film cameras on digital. But with this change to the body style on the M11, it opens the door for more changes to what a Leica M is considered. There's a lot of rumors that the next Leica M will have a digital EVF, which personally I think is very cool, but is it M-like? Is it replicating the analog experience of a Leica M, or is it something completely different? That just makes me wonder, are these going to be seen as the same valuable thing that they once were? So I don't have a lot of confidence in the future of the Leica M lineup. Feel free to let me know your thoughts on that one in the comments. Now, before we continue the video, I want to thank today's sponsor, Opera Neon. Opera Neon is a fully agentic web browser designed to enhance your productivity. Opera Neon has 3 distinct features. Neon Tasks, which is designed to help you summarize, define, and translate content that's open in your browser without disrupting your experience. Neon Do allows you to automate multi-step tasks like filling out forms, booking flights, or my personal favorite, finding information. With Neon Do, I can simply ask, find me a YouTube video about iPhone color science, and Opera Neon saves me from searching through random videos to find what I need. Neon Make functions as a complex project partner using cloud-powered AI to plan and build high-level tasks like app building. Opera Neon is an intelligent partner designed to handle the operational tasks that take your focus away from what matters most. Agentic browsing starts here. This is the future, so check out the link in the description to join the waitlist for Opera Neon. Now, the next reason why I've had a change of heart around the Leica M is a little bit of a complicated one, so hear me out. But it has to do with video being something that's a part of the camera lineup. Now, 5 years ago, a camera being photography centric didn't seem like a big deal to me, but now video is such a key part of what most of us do as photographers, from social media to package deals for basically anything out there. Having a camera that costs the amount that the Leica M costs and it not having video doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Video is just too important of a component in today's creative world for you to spend nearly $10,000 and not get it, and more importantly, not really gain anything for what you're giving up in that video category. With something like this Hasselblad right here, you are giving up video, but this camera does cost less than the Leica M lineup. And on top of that, this camera is medium format. So yes, you're giving up something with a camera like this because it is photography centric, but you're also gaining something in the resolution you get with something like a Hasselblad. That gain for what you're giving up just doesn't feel like it's there with all the changes to the Leica M lineup, mainly the pricing. So for me, it's just hard to give up video now for what you're paying. And the final reason why the Leica M is just something that for me doesn't make a whole lot of sense anymore is the fact that Leica has introduced so many other options that kind of solve all the problems of the Leica M. The SL lineup now has the SL3 and the SL3S, which both are cheaper than the Leica M, and you obviously get autofocus and you get incredible video. With the Leica Q series, you now have the Q3 and the Q3-43. So you have a wider option and you have now a tighter option, so you don't have to get a Leica M to get something close to 50 millimeters, and both of those cameras have video as well. So for me personally, just in the state of things that we're in right now, the Leica M seems like a camera that doesn't make a whole lot of sense anymore. Now, obviously, that's my opinion. There are going to be people out there who still love the history of Leica, people who love the feel and the enjoyment and the tactile nature and the analog nature of the Leica M, and if that's you, that's completely fine. This is more me expressing a change of heart that I've had from videos in the past where I talked about how eventually I wanted to own a Leica M. Now, after everything in this video and my experience with this camera recently, I don't really want to anymore. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is the Leica M still something you desire, or have you had a change of heart like me in the last couple years? I'd love to hear your opinions. Let me know your favorite photo in the comments. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you are not yet, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.